Evening, everybody. Happy Socialist Sunday. First and foremost, hope you're all well. Solidarity, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday live stream. On my left eye, I'm your host, Lefty. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Yes, Flowsnake, the item in the task card has done absolutely nothing regarding kidnapping of UK citizens on the high seas. More about that to come later. That's not the only reason that Yvette Cooper's name is going to be coming up as well. The main feature of tonight's stream, of course, being the protest yesterday. But first of all, people, before we get into things, make sure you've done all the formalities. Hit thumbs up on the stream. If you're not subscribed, please do so. You can join others in the chat. Just 60 seconds later, if you hit the subscribe button. Doc Davies is also with us. Edward Sexby, JK, great to see you. Davinia Robbins, a very good evening to you. Andy Carter also joining us. What is up, good people? What's happening? I'm not bad, yeah. Had a bit of a lie-in today. I've been busy editing footage from yesterday. Thanks for that, Edward, about the... yeah, I'm free. I didn't actually sit this time. Spoiler alert. I can pass on some news, though, about a regular viewer. Moshi did actually get hauled. But I'm pleased to report back where they're staying. They can't be on the stream tonight. Just getting some rest. And well done Moshi on Toast, regular viewer who sat. I'll fill you in with more details about that later, but just wanted to throw out an early plug for a regular viewer.
He's being rendered! He's being rendered!
Well, about 500 people were rendered yesterday. Well, arrested, that is. So I've been editing the footage this afternoon. I've put together a basic version of what happened. There will be a full video to follow. So that's been my weekend. And you're going to be taking a closer look. All exclusive footage of what happened yesterday at Trafalgar Square. Michael just joining us as well in the chat. A very good evening to you. Happy Socialist Sunday. Yeah, it's been all hands to the pump today, putting the video together. And a brand new members video as well. I made this about 20 minutes ago, so it's very fresh. should be back, I think. The buffering circles stopped. How's that looking? Well, I'm going to play the members scroll anyway. Sorry about that brief interruption, people. YouTube Studio, like I said in the chat, nothing at my end. Just waiting for the annoying circle to fuck off. Oh yes, it's a massive conspiracy, Divinia. They've got it out for anybody who's highlighting the truth. So there we are. If your name's on this list, thank you very much for your membership. Thanks to those who've gifted memberships to other people as well. That's an awesome way to contribute to the channel. Thank you very much, everybody. Super chat is also open if you're watching live. Super thanks if you're watching back later on. And there's Buy Me a Coffee page in the description of this stream and any other channel content. Thanks once again. And this week we'll be going over to the Fondue Lounge that we've not visited for a while. Regular viewers will know that we recently diverted into Keith's charcuterie kitchen. But we're back in the Fondue Lounge this week due to copyright reasons for the background music. I did try and get away with it by speeding it up a fraction or two, but apparently not, so at the risk of getting a proper slap on the wrist. It wasn't a strike, I just had to remove it post-broadcast. But to save that happening again, let's get back into the lounge. Yep, you'll never get this song out of your head, people. It's YouTube's greatest earworm. Keith's Fondue Lounge. What are we doing here? What's this all about? Well, we're just here for a little while I briefly explain what's coming up on the stream. Pretty straightforward this Sunday, actually. Most of it's about the protest yesterday at Trafalgar Square. But Zach Polanski has certainly hit the ground running as leader. He had his first conference speech as leader this week and has announced a raft of bold socialist policies. So a bit of a look at that. Some news from the States. Back here in the UK, just back to the protest yesterday itself as well. Potentially more upcoming legislation restricting the right to protest as well, plus a few other bits and pieces. So that's the main bulk of what's happening. We'll have to quickly consume the fondue this week. Well, for two reasons. There's a lot to get into, and basically because fondue doesn't really agree with Margaret Hodge, who appears to be trying to put on a brave face to the left of your screens. We really could do with getting out of here, yeah, before she launches some pretty nasty air biscuits, if you know what I mean. Time for an Irish coffee, guitar guy. Well, whatever you fancy. This Sunday, it's a Sunday live stream, not a brews at 10. Not that tea is mandatory on brews at 10 either, but good to see you on the stream, guitar guy. Politics Clive is with us as well, I notice. Quick scroll here up the chat. Before we vacate the lounge though, just a quick reminder, there is a poll on tonight's stream. Just thought I'd throw this one out there. So at the moment, the Greens are currently projected to get about 10% of the vote. But like I said, Polanski has been hitting the headlines. He does seem to be stepping up and essentially projecting himself as the frontrunner for socialist policies, with your party still in development at the moment. So do you think he can take the party from 10% up to 20%? Please let me know in the poll. Say you aye or say you nay. Currently, most of you quite optimistic about his chances. 92% say aye and only 8% say nay. Interesting. That's the next scheduled general election, of course. 2029. That's going to be. Sounds so far away, doesn't it? But we're already 25% of the way through Keith's Parliament. Just also, whilst we're in the lounge, bizarrely, Mandy in the background there hasn't been in the news this week for anything new. Perhaps he's saving that up for a double bill tomorrow. New letters found. Oh my Jeffrey, how I adore these so. Here are some obscure etchings that I did in the middle of the night after I performed bizarre rituals surrounded in front of, I should say, of a shrine to your image. Yeah, things like that. What a bunch of ghouls. Okay, get your fill, people. Just chow down one last bit of fondue and then we'll get into business. Yori Gibson, good to see you in the chat, by the way. Okay, bye Keith, be seeing you in a bit. Back to business. I'll start with a comedy clip actually. Forgive me, I did forget to upload this. I'll just do that now. Did I? Just looking here. No, sorry. Oh, yeah.
The Labour...
I reminded myself to do it, but then I remembered I had to update the members video. But it's another one from Noreen Skinner, as you can see, with, well, it's her favourite impression that she does. She does other politicians as well. Liz Truss, and so on, but the Rachel Reeves one is by far my favourite, I think. So this is the latest from Noreen Skinner. Do check her stuff out on YouTube and whatnot. Go and subscribe. Go and show some support. And she's going to tell us how Rachel's down with the kids. Oh yes, better believe it, people.
Party conference has been going quite well actually, and I'm definitely starting to gain in my popularity. I'm tackling important matters like making sure that I can look after all of the youths. Ow, ow, get out of the way. Obviously, I'm giving high-key, low-key aura right now, and I want to know what your favourite Labobo is.
Le Martin. I'm a big fan of the green one, I'll be honest with you.
I like orange. I know exactly what the kids want. Everybody wants my Labobos. I'm also focusing on making sure I connect with the people and being honest about taxes. Yes, I did say a while back that I wouldn't increase taxes, and I meant that at the time. But now things have gone to shit, and I also mean that too. You know, people can change. That's a bush. I thought civil servants were just meant to serve me coffee. I'm speaking to people about matters that matter to them the most. Would you rather have arms as legs or legs as arms?
I would rather have legs as arms.
Why's that?
So then I could walk on all fours.
We're all animals at heart. Woof woof. And finally, I've been really taking note of Nigel Fabricage. Now, I don't actually agree with anything he says, but he's very popular, and I want that too. So that's why, on my break, I've come down here to the local park to look after and protect all of the swans from the immigrants.
It's not a swan.
Well, what are you talking about? Very funny. I mean, what am I, not a human? Why do people keep saying that these are ducks? They're not. That's a swan. This is a duck. Uh-oh. I think it's dead. Duck, duck, goose. Oh, it's alive. Phew. Dead. Where are you from? Take your bread away. I know your game, trying to fatten all the swans up and take them home and eat them for dinner. A swan's for life, not just for the Queen. Goodbye. The Labour Party.
Very good. I just missed the pause at the end there. Go and follow Noreen Skinner on Insta, Twitter, YouTube and everything else as well. Rachel Reeves. Yeah, she does a banging robotic Rachel. I was looking through the chat. Yeah, Clive, the Greens are killing it at the moment. Some of us, that is, thought they might take the opportunity of having the conference whilst there'd been this apparent stall because of a bit of a minor falling out within your party, but I think the polls next month will certainly be interesting. Yeah, the conference on the whole, I guess, a lot better than Labour's as well. Might take a look at some of Zach Polanski's speech later in the stream. But like Yori is pointing out, Labour did ban certain journalists from the conference, didn't they? I think Owen Jones is now banned, Novara Media, as Yori pointed out, weren't allowed in. Showed you the picture of the so-called press conference of the 3 hand-picked journalists. One of them was Beth Rigby from Sky News, 2 other people as well. But the setup, the format, was that he was still talking to a room full of people with a lectern and a sign behind him and slogans and everything. It's literally 3 people. He could have had the conversation in the Mini Cooper and still had room for a dog. So, well, they just fit in the authoritarian framework where media and journalism's concerned. Control of the media, of course, being a massive factor of right-wing politics. So, good point there, Rory. Just a reminder. Not that we need many. How crap Labour are at the moment. It's, well, Lino. Lino, as we all know. My pal Foot. Awesome to see you. Just about to get into things with the Defend Our Juries protest at Trafalgar Square. I've smashed some clips together. Excuse me, I've done my best. I had to trim in it over 40 videos, and there's some pictures and stuff in there as well, and interviews that I did. A couple of interviews. Focused on one arrest in particular because of the circumstances around it, which I'm going to go into. Bit of a bizarre incident. Specs Bean Farmer, good to see you celebrating 5 months of membership. Thanks for sticking with us. On my left eye, it's been great to have you as well. So I will be doing a full video with a few other bits and pieces added in. I didn't have too long to put this together this afternoon, so hope you enjoy it nonetheless. I do narration as I go through, so I'll generally, apart from there's a couple of instances where I might come in with a bit of narration, added narration myself here. But I'll let past me do most of the talking. It was another incredible day, I do have to say as well. For reasons which you'll see in a moment. A shout out again to Moshi on Toast, one of the arrestees from yesterday, regular viewer on the channel. Solidarity. Could we big up Moshi on Toast in the chat, please, people? They're getting the bug. I believe that's the third time that they've sat and the second time they've been arrested. Shout out to Moshi again. Like last time, I travelled down with Paul from Climate Lens, who's also in JSO as well. A bit of a game you can play as well through this is how many times Paul manages to get himself in the shot whilst I'm filming. Turned into a bit of a joke in itself, actually, at one point. It does happen. I might keep a counter up when I do the actual video. I'm not sure. I know it's a serious topic anyway. So if you're wondering why, oh, it's him again. There he is again. Don't worry, that's Paul from Climate Lens. A great channel. Do go and subscribe as well. He'll be putting up his own content from yesterday. Also, neither of us sat, I should say. Just to highlight, we were there for support and to document as well, of course. Aside from a couple of far-right agitators, there was one of Stephen Yaxley-Lennon, aka Tommy Robinson's henchmen there, apparently. Well, I say apparently. I did speak to them at one point. He was having a sort of debate, a back and forth with another guy. I think he calls himself like the UK's Charlie Kirk or whatever. He's referred to himself as something like that. So you get a sense of the type of person I'm talking about. Excuse me. Throat's still a little sore from yesterday. So we did try to cause some interference. He did try to agitate certain situations, but there were a lot of experienced de-escalators there as well. I had to do a bit of that myself at one point. That's not in the footage. I was too busy doing that, obviously. That comes first. But I did notice very quickly the same sort of circular reasoning, circular arguments that far-right commentators use. Just threw in my 2 cents. It wasn't a heated argument or anything, but yeah. Soon decided people like that aren't worth your time. After a short while, someone who I know just informed me who it was and what they're about, and obviously I had bigger fish to fry on the day, so for the most part, yeah, very supportive. And, more about the aftermath after I play you this. Like I said, there'll be another full version on the video, including Moshe's arrest as well, which was actually filmed. If you want to check that out, check out a channel called Del G, DEL space G. The most recent upload from there, I believe it's at around 28 minutes when Moshe was arrested. So I will pop that into the full vid as well. But for now, here's the rest. Hope you enjoy. Here we are at Trafalgar Square. We're a bit early, so it's still quiet, but believe me, in a short amount of time this place will be ram-packed full of people. Just going to go and have a spot of brunch, and then we will catch up with you good people shortly. Here we are at Parliament Square. Obviously this is why it's not taking place at Parliament Square today, fenced off, as you can see, to renew the lawn, which is looking very fresh and nice, I do have to say. I just want to point out, it's exactly 3 years ago to the day since I was arrested, roughly in this spot here, with Just Stop Oil and the roadblocks. We did every corner of Parliament Square, and here we are again on October 4th 2025 with Defend Our Juries, and we'll be back up on the no, this isn't live, Clive. No, yes it is, actually, because I am all powerful. I've managed to turn night into day and freeze time, as you can see, to give you this brief narration. All bow for... no, I can't keep that up. This was recorded yesterday, Clive. I've put the... well, some of the clips that I took, I've edited them together, trimmed them. It is in chronological order, I think, more or less. It's night time. Is this live? Oh, nice one, Clive. Square in a moment, but again, Paul, look. They're fenced off, as you can see, to renew the lawn, which is looking very fresh and nice, I do have to say. I just want to point out, it's exactly 3 years ago to the day since I was arrested, roughly in this spot here, with Just Stop Oil and the roadblocks. We did every corner of Parliament Square, and here we are again on October 4th 2025 with Defend Our Juries, and we'll be back up on the square in a moment. But there again in the shirt. It does become a running theme, a running joke, as you'll see as we go through. Look left, good advice on the floor there. Yeah, Doc, good point. Sneaky Fish, you got a list of other things I might want to do with my new powers. Well, of course. 9 o'clock, day one. Yeah, I'll get going. We do have something else to show you first. Disclose this. Be a bit of something going on at Westminster Bridge, so we're going to head round the corner and we'll see you there. Sorry, I'm getting distracted with this deliberate sort of in-joke here. Like I said on the narration, I'd heard on good authority that there was going to be something going on at Westminster Bridge at 12 o'clock, which is why we were at Parliament Square, for anybody wondering why we went to Trafalgar first and then just walked straight past. It's like, gone the wrong way. Not just for the nostalgia trip, because it was, like I said, exactly 3 years to the day since I got arrested, just by where I'm stood there. But it's for this as well. Paul's a good friend of mine. We've known each other a while. I should just point that out, by the way. I don't think he'll mind me highlighting the amount of times he gets in the shots on my footage. Thanks for getting in the shot, Paul. So we're here at Westminster Bridge. Had it on good authority that there's going to be a banner drop here in a few moments. So we're just going to try and find out what's happening. So the banner's in solidarity with the DOJ protest that's happening. Just got to find out what's going on. There we go. Bit difficult to see from here, but we can't really step out onto the River Thames.
Yeah, they need to wait up.
It says the same as the placards: I oppose genocide, I support Palestine. Let's go up and have a quick chat with the organisers. Good afternoon. Well, it's afternoon now. Great show of solidarity with the banner. So how are you feeling this week and today about the protest?
Exhausted.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that I have the privilege and ability to be able to protest. I think it's ridiculous that we have to do this, you know, to be using resources to police this, to police a lot of people sitting holding cardboard signs. It's just ridiculous. I think the government have put the police in an impossible position, and I think that the management of the police have put the frontline police in an impossible position.
Yeah, because Mark Rowley yesterday tried to make that appeal.
He did make that appeal.
He did make the appeal, tried to make connections between the protest and anti-Semitism, which is, of course, a complete nonsense.
Yeah.
So do you think...
It's like the police and the government have so many options to make Jewish people safer by making clear that it's not, it's anti-Israel protests. It's nothing to do with Jews. It's nothing to do with Judaism. There are so many amazing Jewish people and groups supporting Palestine and supporting these, International Jewish Anti-Zionist Network, who are unfailing in their protesting. They're going to be down providing witness this afternoon. And this is, we stand with the Jewish community.
Absolutely.
And they are important parts of our pro-Palestine.
Absolutely. We've come down today from Manchester. Obviously the incident in this week is in people's minds, but the way that it's been attempted to be politicised,
it's awful.
It's disgusting.
It's a horrific incident, and to use a horrific attack, to exploit it, that appalls me, because we all stand in solidarity with the people of Britain. We stand in solidarity with the Jewish community. We stand against the genocide, and it must be, the fear mongering is the fear mongering is awful, and it's to claim that people are going to be made any less safe because some people are holding cardboard signs.
Sorry about the wind. Nothing I could do about that. Obviously, the weather. It was a particularly windy day in London, and we're on a bridge, so forgive me if you can't hear some of the audio. There wasn't really much to be done about that.
I mean, the level of policing that goes into that is unlike anything I've ever seen. And why? What possible justification is there? I mean, does anyone here feel terrorised by me right now?
No. Everybody feels safe because everybody is safe. It's hyperbolic.
generally, you know, when people find, everyone I know, when they find out that I've been arrested, they're like, thank you so much. And I just happen to have a business and a life where I can go and get arrested.
Yeah.
Not everybody can do that.
True, yeah.
And for example, a very close friend of mine, because her parent is not, one of her parents is not from the UK, if she got the Section 13 arrest and prosecution, she could lose her citizenship under UK law. And a lot of people don't realise that. And it's like someone who's grown up, they lived born and grown up their whole life in the UK, could lose their citizenship over holding a sign. And that is just horrendous.
It's draconian, yeah. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks again. So that was Serena. Really great effort. This is very interesting. The banner itself was in two pieces. The first half said, "I oppose genocide." The second half said, "The rest, you know what?" I can't say that on a live stream for reasons which you know. That's why it was bleeped out in the clip. Interesting thing, the only people who were arrested were the people holding the second part of the sign. So the first half that just said, "I oppose genocide," they weren't arrested. We did catch up with them in Trafalgar Square a short time later on. So that's what happened there on Westminster Bridge. Graham Turner, thanks a lot for that super chat. I do appreciate that. Viva Viva Palestina, my friend. As always. In fact, this live stream's more or less dedicated to protesting for the cause of Palestine. It got to be a bit of an emotional day later on for reasons that you'll see as I get through these clips. So we did, after the banner drop, just make it back to Trafalgar Square, as you can see, just before 1 o'clock when it started. Hallelujah, we made it. Just getting to the square now. Police already starting to cordon off Trafalgar Square, across the road. Let's go and see what's happening. Over in Quakers Corner, as things are getting started off. A heavy police build-up happening on the other side of the square. So if, as expected, 1,500 people getting the... you're in my shot there, Paul.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're still... Paul, you're still in the shot. So if the 1,500 people show up as expected, you can expect this whole... Get out of the shop, Paul. Just wanted to quickly come in. You see the fountains there on full whack. A friend of mine pointed out, of course, knowing that it was going to be such a windy, stormy day, before I set off, checked the weather report, estimated winds of over 40 miles an hour in London. We're in central London, so of course it's surrounded by buildings, it being the capital city, but still windy nonetheless. And the conscious decision, a friend of mine pointed out, to put all the fountains on full whack perhaps wasn't an accident, if you know what I mean. Place to be like a bowl of beans within the hour, I'd imagine. Absolutely full. So if the 1,500 people show up as expected, you can expect this whole place to be like a bowl of beans within the hour, I'd imagine. Absolutely full. Starting shortly now, so I'm going to try and grab a word with Peter in a sec. Yeah, that was Peter Tatchell. I had a bit of a chat with him, not on camera, unfortunately. Seen him about before on previous protests, to be honest. So just had a bit of a catch up with him. And there's Crispin Flintoff as the excellent video narrator's about to point out as well, I think. There's Crispin Flintoff, fellow YouTuber. Just gone 1 o'clock now, so things are officially underway. And try and catch a few words with some of the sitters. There's a few other well-known personalities around as well. I will do my best, people. Watch this space. and just quickly coming in again to thank Andy Carter for the gifted membership there. Great stuff. Solidarity, brother. Zuki, who's been a member before, I believe. Welcome back into the realm of membership. Thanks again for that, Andy. Big up Andy Carter in the chat, please, people. Solidarity.
Palestine! Palestine! Palestine!
Well, like I said, it didn't take very long for the square to fill up. Doesn't quite look like 1,500 people at the moment, but it's still filling up here. You can see barriers cutting off the steps up towards the back of the square. Nobody at the moment is sitting with a placard up here. There's other media and people getting a few shots. So let's take a look at that. Beautiful. Just down at the sort of little holding area where they're bringing the arrestees. The arrests have already started. Carriers lined up at the side. And you can see a few people here in the arrest process. And here we have another arrestee. Yeah, they'd already started to go through just a few minutes in to the protest. Pretty much on the minute we noticed police starting to crouch down and start the arrest process. Yeah, Erin, about the wind on the bridge shots and what's getting in a bit of the footage here. I did actually have an external microphone with a bit of a fuzz guard on it, but a really windy day it was. So as per the last one at Parliament Square, things got started really, really early where the arrests are concerned. You could, again, the police must feel proud of themselves knowing that they've kept this menace off the streets that we can see in shot here. I don't know this particular lady's name, but of course now the streets of Britain are safer now that people like this are being detained. Whilst let's remind ourselves the country is actually on a high terror alert following the horrific incident in Manchester on Thursday, which will come up again in the footage of this video. And the head of the Met Police and the politicians' attempts to link this demonstration to anti-Semitism, which is revolting. Some people who commented about it in a similar fashion also thought it was a march. They didn't know it was the sit-down placard protest that it was. Put the foot in it a bit there, embarrassingly. Most people, as before, choosing to go limp to make it more difficult to be carried away, but yeah, it's all started. It's all going off. Yori, it was around 500 people at the moment, just under 500 the last time I checked. Significantly fewer than the last one at Parliament Square. Might get into the reasons why that might have been. Still very impressive, has to be said. The records continue to be smashed at previous arrests, but had they not taken place, this one itself, that 500, would have been a record within itself. So not a minor event by any means, only relative to other Defend Our Juries events.
Yeah,
I'll try not to get grappled to the floor like I did last time. I mean, I will do my best. Well, what a coincidence. Benny Hill theme tune. I did use that recently on that ICE video. Yeah, that was weird, because Not like I often hear the Benny Hill theme tune. Decided to put that on the bike courier getting away from those 9 ICE guys on the last video on the channel, and then lo and behold, there it was. Oh, Moshi is actually here. Thanks for dropping by, Moshi. How you doing? Well done for yesterday. Let's big up Moshi, one of the arrestees from yesterday. Not in my footage, but will be featuring in the video coming out of the Defend Our Juries protest. Big up Moshi in the chat, please, everybody. Great effort. Great to hear that you're back safe and well also. And thanks for sharing us the link as well for the footage of your arrest from Del G, as I said, if anybody wants to check it out immediately. If you can't wait until our video comes out. Solidarity, Moshi.
Thank you.
Stop genocide! Stop genocide! Free Palestine! 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 Free Palestine!
Quite nice.
Yeah, a sombre atmosphere there. You'll notice throughout the footage a lot less chanting and megaphoning than the last one at Parliament Square. More of a sombre atmosphere, which I know actually, I should say, is preferred by Defend Our Juries. Not everybody there is with Defend Our Juries, of course. Other organisations come to show support, and they choose to protest in various manners. Excuse me, throat's still a bit sore from yesterday. But you can see there some people choosing to protest in song, and that was a nice moment. That carried on at length, actually, the female chorus there. I didn't have a song sheet myself. I might have joined in and given them a bit of bass or baritone to the mix. But no, really nice, really nice. There's a couple of pro-Israel or far-right agitators, whatever you want to call them here. I've just been in a bit of a exchange, if you want to say, a verbal exchange. Nothing heated with one of them. Don't know if that's going to come up on YouTube. But just people here shouting. That was the guy I was referring to before. Pretty easy to spot. They soon get swamped by cameras, as you can see. I'm a bit of a dab hand at getting into decent camera positions, fortunately, myself. So it was concerning, essentially, the conflation of all of Gazan citizens with Hamas, which is what this guy was trying to put out. He was also trying to insinuate that Palestine have been a threat to the Middle Eastern neighbours. So in the few minutes that there was the back and forth, that's what came up. I said my part. Like I said, didn't get heated, didn't get agitated. It was more of a confused sort of, what are you talking about, you know? I did have to say at one point, regarding Hin Rajab, 6-year-old girls aren't members of a military organisation. But yeah, he was trying to paint all Palestinian citizens with the same brush. You know the types. Like I said, he calls himself the UK's Charlie Kirk. And he was there for quite a while. And it did get pretty heated later on between himself and some people. Some Muslim participants paused to pray at a few intervals during proceedings. Just after that had finished at one point, he stood on a fountain in front of them, and essentially he was trying to agitate them by interrupting the prayers. Myself and Paul noticed it and went over. This isn't what's going to happen in the next part of the footage. Sorry, it was later on, but I was too busy de-escalating because really didn't want to give him what he wanted. Where he's trying to incite people into perhaps losing the temper so that he can play the victim. You know what these cowardly fucks are like, let's be honest, people. He's your classic example of one of those. And that was perhaps the worst part of it that I saw, choosing to agitate Muslims by trying to interrupt their prayers. Yeah. Whatever your faith, or even if you're a staunch atheist, that you have to acknowledge is a very shitty thing to do. And he essentially got chased out. The police eventually noticed what was going on. Once he was identified as the instigator and agitator, on repeat occasions he found it increasingly hard to get back into the square. Bit of a cock, if you want to put it in one word, or a few. Lock them up and trying to cause a stir with the bullshit.
Please, out the way! Thank you! Out the way, please!
3 sharp women!
Oh, yep. They don't want to touch the genociders down in Whitehall. Still just arresting members of the public for holding up placards. But what if you had a placard that said, "I sell F-35 parts to Elbit Systems and Israel"? Or what if you held up a placard saying that you support genocide? Would you get arrested? I somehow doubt it, which just shows the state of political and policing affairs in this country at the moment, the double standards, the hypocrisy, the affront to democracy and justice that the Met Police are carrying out here today. Good afternoon, Yvette Cooper. Good afternoon, Mark Rowley. Unfortunately, you didn't do enough to put everybody off here supporting a prescribed group. It's an absolute affront to justice and democracy in this country. So despite the appeals and attempts to connect this protest with the horrific incident in Manchester on Thursday, people have still shown out in force, and rightly so. Because even as I'm speaking right now, the genocide is still happening in Gaza and innocent lives are being lost. And DOJ will continue to sit until this government takes action.
Long pig! Data is online forever! Data is online forever! Data is online forever! Good little pig! Good little pig! Away, please! Away, please! Oh, this one actually says oh, look at homie, right? Jeez, black cop.
Not them. Oh, you support plasticine action, sir? Great stuff. Yeah, big up plasticine action. Nice. Yeah, one of the decoy organisations. We'll see someone later on with a "I support pensioner action" t-shirt on as well. I think they might have actually been detained while they were wearing it before. Not at this, but at something else. Anyway, but then I ran into a fellow Mancunian. You can see here. Did a brief interview. This is the sign that they were holding up, and this, of course, refers to that horrific incident on Thursday. I am both in solidarity with the Jewish community of Manchester and opposed to genocide in Palestine. Okay, it's a small world. I've just bumped into a fellow Mancunian.
Yeah, well now.
And how do you think it's going today?
I think it's been really calm today, and I've enjoyed that it's been a smoother protest in response to the Manchester actions. It feels like it's been more meditative, which has been really lovely.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's a lot less heated than last time at Parliament Square.
Yes, and the heat has its place, the rage is really important, but taking this time to have a more meditative action is just as valuable.
Oh yeah. Nothing wrong with passion in the right place.
Absolutely not.
It's a bit meditative. So about the whole attempt from the media and the government to associate the awful incident on Thursday in Manchester with what's happening here today, how do you feel about that?
I've been really astonished at the connection. The Manchester attack is senseless violence and terrorism. Palestine action is a couple of lads with some tins of paint.
Yeah.
They are not equivalent, they are not comparable, and stopping this action as a response to that would be the wrong thing to do.
Did you hear what Mark Rowley, the police commissioner, said yesterday?
No.
Essentially trying to make out that this is an anti-Semitic demonstration.
Sorry.
From the police commissioner of the Metropolitan Police. It's a sorry state of affairs, isn't it?
It's a sad official narrative. There isn't a connection, and making it is just political gameplay.
It is. Thanks a lot for your time.
Of course.
Solidarity. Thanks again.
Moshi, did you see yourself in the footage? I threw these together really quickly, just trimmed and put them in chronological order. But yeah, I look back, more to come from Moshi as well. So it was good to speak to other people who had come down from Manchester as well. Who is it that you think you saw in the background there, Aaron? Would that be a well-known figure? Or we might go back to that and check it out. Thanks for throwing up the watermelons and Palestine flags in the chat as well, people. For anyone joining us, just a quick reminder, make sure you've hit thumbs up on the stream. There's a poll in as well as to whether you think Zach Polanski can pull the Green Party's share of the vote from 10% to 20% before the next general election. So please do vote if you're just joining us.
Shame on you!
And we're getting, you'll see why in a moment. I'll just let this video play. For a warning, it does get a bit deep here and emotional concerning the number of children who've been killed in Palestine in the last 2 years alone. 479,000 and 380,000 of them infants under the age of 5. Perhaps a couple of dozen examples you could see on the floor, and a lot of them had stories about the circumstances of how they lost their lives, which was very upsetting to read as well.
The numbers say it all, and it's very emotional just looking at these examples of children who are all victims. But when you realise it's just a fraction of 1% of the total number killed, it's unbelievable. We're sorry, getting a bit emotional here. Statistics are one thing when you can look into the eyes of the children on these pictures and realise what's happened to them. Where's the humanity? Anybody who would accuse these children of being terrorists really should have a serious look at themselves. So let's get a bit emotional. And it's starting to get a little stormy as well, you might have noticed.
Yeah, I had to go and sit down at the side. Actually, there's some concrete benches. Had a bit of a outburst, to be honest, but I had the support of friends, and there was a stranger sat next to me who gave me some fruit. I'd about the third story that I read, partway through reading the fourth one maybe, it just all got to me. I had to go and just ground myself a bit and then regroup. But it was good to get support. And the level of detail in the stories, I don't think you can turn away and ignore it. Is the thing. A lot of people choose to. I don't think there's any way that you can become desensitized to that level of horror, really. Whatever you've seen and experienced in your life. Felix, great to see you. Hope you're well. Yes, so we bumped into a few people who we knew throughout the day, and at one point Trudy here, who, well, it's undeniable, historically played a large part in what happened at Trafalgar Square. For anyone who's not familiar, this has more or less come from two events. Defend Our Juries began as an organisation when Trudy Warner was arrested for having a placard with a different slogan on it, one that actually appears inside the Old Bailey, which is a famous jury trial court here in the UK, regarding a juror's right to acquit based on the conscience. She was arrested when she was there to support some climate supporters. I believe it was an Insulate Britain trial, if memory serves. So that's the one element. The other element is, of course, the more recent spraying protest at RAF Bryce Norton, which was carried out by Pal Action, who were then prescribed as a terrorist group, and that is what this is all about. It's the affront to justice that a non-violent direct action group can be put in the same category as violent terrorism. So now here, in 2025, yeah, quite a significant figure, Trudy Warner, very brave, lovely lady as well. It's great to see her. And we bumped into Ranson as well, who you're going to see. He's a friend of mine, another great protester and supporter of DOJ, Just Stop Oil, other organisations. Terrific guy. Shout out to Trudy, Ranson, and everybody else who we saw. Thanks for the gifted membership as well there, Michael. Really do appreciate that. Oh, okay. I've not been updating the goal. However, this is where it gets complicated. This is genuine, by the way. I didn't adjust that when I came on stream. It was at 97. You can count later on when we do the members scroll again, I assure you. So while it's on 100 now, that actually takes us back to 99. Because it was on 97, and we had another from Andy Carter earlier to put us up to 98. So that's the 99th. Thanks again. Big up. It's strange that we got a gifted membership, but the total went backwards one. That's just to explain why that happened. I'm happy to show you the graph from my members page on YouTube to verify for anyone who still has the doubts. But back to the video anyway, yeah. And the great people that we bumped into. But then shortly after this is what's going to be the main highlighted arrest from the day, from the footage you're going to see on the stream at least. Very different circumstances to the other arrests, as you'll see in just a moment. And thanks to Nina Sadie for another gifted membership. So that does take us to the ton. Well, that straightens things out after what turned into a particularly awkward explanation as not 1,000, 100. as to why it went backwards. Thanks again for that. Big up Nina Sadie in the chat. Nice round number. Yes, that's what we like to see. 250 is a nice round number as well, which is the current target. So thanks for getting us back over the ton with your gifted memberships on tonight's stream, people. Where was I? Yeah, you'll see what happens with this bizarre arrest. I'll give some narration as it goes through.
That's Trudy Warner, Old Bailey hero.
That's Rangson with the I Support Pensioner Action t-shirt on, like I said. I did make another video of him actually. My apologies, I accidentally deleted it. It was only 10 seconds. I just wanted to get the t-shirt and give him a shout out, but I can do it on the stream instead. The main part of this concerns the person to the right of him as we look, whose name I won't say, but that's the arrest that we're going to be concerned with the red and white and other kaffir scarves on.
Bunch of heroes here.
Who I do actually know, by the way. I want to point out, known them for a while. I didn't just start. Yeah, I didn't just start talking to them like this. This isn't how I approach strangers. For anyone wondering what the so-called interview technique is here, although I only managed to get 3 words out of him.
Thank you.
How are you feeling about all this today, young person who I've never met before in my life? Well, I say young. I'm putting that one in. I'm putting it in.
He's speechless.
Speechless. Go on, give me 2 words. 2 words.
Keir Starmer, resign.
Yeah, and then 30 seconds later, not a bad 3 words by the way there, nearly said the name, nameless person. Then you won't believe this. Look at this. Oh, what?
Just literally after I stopped that interview.
Under what power?
I don't know why I'm being arrested. They're detaining me and I don't know why I'm being detained.
Right in front of me, as we were still chatting after I stopped recording there. A few of them came over, knocked his phone out of his hand. I think I explained this later on in the footage anyway. But they grabbed my arm at first and then they were like, no, it's this one. They grabbed him by the arm instead. He knows the drill. He immediately went limp and dropped to the floor, crossed his legs. They grabbed his phone off him, I think. And then this that you're about to see, this was literally just 30 seconds later.
They don't know why I'm being detained. I'm sat here being detained. I don't know why. I would like to know why before they detain me. I don't know, and they do not know either.
Under what power?
Under what power am I being detained? If you don't know, please let me go.
Wow.
I'm asking, why am I being detained?
Did you have a sign?
If you don't know why I'm being detained, then what is the offence I've committed?
You don't have a sign. Do you have a sign?
No.
Blimey.
I've not got any sign.
Are you going to do something?
I've not got a sign.
He hasn't got a sign.
I've just been witnessing
Can you
what's
sign to
going
get
on.
arrested? Why are you arresting him? Unless he's thinking something. Is he thinking something? He's a bit odd. He's just
I think we're in thought police territory maybe, I don't know.
Hey, come on guys.
This gentleman's suggesting. How do you feel about this?
Strange, isn't it? The policeman doesn't know why he's been arrested either, but he's arresting him.
It certainly is bizarre.
I've not got a sign.
He doesn't know.
Stop and search me all you want. I've got nothing on me.
Plenty of witnesses, buddy.
Any terrorist organisation.
Yeah, well, we're going to find out. Wow. Do you know why he's been arrested? Okay.
Keep you posted on this situation, people. Just have to get out of the way one moment. So he was detained. I believe he's now under arrest, although, as far as I know, they haven't said under what power or what charge.
Mr. Panorama.
Utterly shameful. This is utterly shameful. About 4 or 5 officers came over, knocked his phone out of his hand. They grabbed my arm at first, and then someone identified that they were the person who they were targeting, shoved us to the side and immediately detained him, then arrested him.
And Paul's in the shot again, just pointing that out.
So just to emphasise, he was not holding a sign, he was not verbally describing the words that are on the sign, which is actually a criminal offence in itself as well. That did not happen. I've spoken to 2 legal observers, given them the version of events that happened. They're actually still here, thought they'd been taken away already. I still don't know what the charge is, what's happening. I'm going to try and shout over in a sec. But I've passed all the information on to legal observers. Our friend Alex is here, who I interviewed at the last Parliament Square protest. Came here with Alex, who gave us an interview at the last protest. Down here again today. What do you think about today, Alex? She's just trying to get some answers now about what's happening.
So all that we got back before he was taken away, it was for some form of previous incident. Apparently nothing that happened there on Trafalgar Square, but as far as we all know, they've never sat with a placard during any of the Defend Our Juries protests. But I will keep you up to speed with the latest details about that, because I will be informed as soon as anything develops. So really strange. Completely surrounded by officers as well. Did you notice that? Totally bizarre. Just to point out, they'd brought police over from Northern Ireland this time. At the previous Parliament Square demos, there'd been police from Wales drafted in. I don't remember specifically seeing any Welsh police there this time, but they did draft them in from Northern Ireland. At that point, we went down to show some solidarity because there was going to be a separate presence outside of Downing Street itself. The freeze frame on your screen is Whitehall, Downing Street just to the left. You can see the black gates there. Mostly a student solidarity for Palestine demo. So this was at 6 PM at this point, 5 hours after the Trafalgar Square marches started, and there was still some numbers there yet to be arrested. So the footage here that I'm going to show you will conclude with what happened on Whitehall.
So there's another gathering here just across the road from Downing Street on Whitehall. It looks like about 100 or so sitters are still up there at Trafalgar Square. And we're just doing a bit of chanting and solidarity here.
We are people, freedom,
sorry about there's a lot of feedback from the sound system. I know wasn't particularly anything I could do about that, to be honest.
There is only one solution! 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 Intifada revolution! Intifada revolution! And there is only one solution! There is only one solution!
There was the one, I'll just scroll back a bit. There was the one guy with the Union Jack wrapped around him, one lone flag shagger. There he is, the one lone flag shagger. He tried to cape it at one point, he didn't realise it was folded in several areas, and when he tried to hold it out again, it was wrapped around itself. But as far as I saw, this was the only so-called counter-protester, who I think was probably just someone who happened to be walking past at the time. Katie, nice to see you in the chat. There weren't any Scottish police that I noticed. I'm not sure if there was actually a simultaneous one happening in Edinburgh, as there was last time around. But maybe they were all up there if there was one. So at this point, now you notice, this is just the last bit of footage. The march started to head up back towards Trafalgar Square, but a massive police vans came out from one of the side streets. They formed a full arm-length barrier from one side of the pavement to the other on Whitehall, just about maybe 150 yards before you get to Trafalgar Square. So it looked like we were about to get kettled in. That was what mine and Paul, who is again in the shop, initially thought. But we couldn't stay around too much longer. We had a train to get to. Managed to, well, we changed direction, and I know a few little snippets and shortcuts out of there, so we managed to make it back to Euston on time. And we noticed this group here. As we're on the way down, actually, we thought, why are there so many police vans up these side streets? And we thought maybe that's where they worked their way from towards Trafalgar Square. But then we noticed these pockets of police actually on Whitehall itself, and it turns out that they were going to be forming part of the barrier with others that showed up. So, yeah, we had to sort of think pretty quick to make sure that we didn't get trapped. That is just Paul and I, by the way, not the whole march. You could sort of see the line forming up there just past the monument with the horse on it. Alright, yeah, that was pretty much the basic version, like I said. What a day, what a day. Possibly over 500 arrests now. Edward Sexby, welcome. Yeah, we do like to get our hands dirty here on My Left Eye. I'm a political and environmental activist myself, for anybody who doesn't know. Wasn't a sitter at this particular protest. Well, like I said in the footage, Parliament Square thing. I've been detained at Trafalgar Square before. They searched me for glue and other contraband which I didn't have in my bag. I was just doing media for the queer roadblock that JSO did on the 5th of October 22, plus others. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Like I said, I'll keep you up to speed with what happened with that bizarre arrest. I won't name them. Katie, you're off to the Scottish Greens Conference between the 17th and 19th, inclusive, in Edinburgh. Yeah, that'd be great. If you're going down there, pass on the footage. Give us a shout out. Either on social media if you like, if you follow us on Twitter or whatnot, or drop us a line at mylefteye.uk@gmail.com. Thanks a lot for that, Casey. That'd be awesome. I'll get a little bit into the aftermath of yesterday's protest. Just wanted to show you another interview in case you haven't seen it that Navarra got with a friend of mine who I was speaking to yesterday. She also did a great interview on PM on BBC Radio 4. If anyone wants to check that out, that was on Friday at 5:30 PM. That's when Zoe Cohen was on. But you've got to see this interview that she did with Navarra here. Zoe's from here in Manchester, a friend of mine. Again, someone who I've been in action with JSO, and this was another really good interview. Zoe's Jewish, and a lot came up obviously about the incident in Manchester on Thursday, that heinous double killing, and the attempted conflation with anti-Semitism drawn against yesterday's demo. But Zoe puts it really well as to why that's complete and utter horseshit. So, well said, Zoe.
As a Jewish person born and bred in Greater Manchester, I find it very distressing. I'm very distressed and upset and grieving about what happened in Manchester on Thursday at the synagogue, the atrocity there. And I'm also grieving and distressed about the genocide in Gaza for the last 2 years, as have millions and millions of people. This, as you can see, I mean, people, well, you can't see, there's hundreds of people just sat in silence, in a vigil on the ground, holding a basic homemade sign. There's nothing violent about it, there's nothing anti-Semitic about it, there's nothing vaguely terrorist about it. Like, surely it's a political decision to arrest these people. You know, there are many Jews like me who are critical of the acts of the State of Israel. But, you know, to conflate this is anti-Semitic in its own right because it drives hatred of Jews. I can't really say it. I hope that makes sense. Like, I just find it incredibly distressing.
Well said, Zoe Cohen. That was with Novara Media, just once again. Awesome stuff happening in the chat. Even 10 gifted memberships. Thank you very much for that, Hedy. Awesome stuff. And another super duper whooper chat from Graham Turner. Viva Viva Palestina. Let's give that some appreciation. Please do big up Graham and Hedy in the chat, please, everybody. Thanks again. 10 gifted memberships, awesome stuff. Let's update the goal. 110. Wow, also noticing some breaking news in the chat coming in. This is a hot live chat we've got this evening, people. Thanks for the update, Michael. Yvonne Ridley, who's a Scot, was kidnapped by Israel forces in the Samud flotilla, and she's gone missing during her transfer to Istanbul. Her whereabouts are unknown. That is, of course, a real concern. Thanks for the update there, Michael. That is troubling, and the UK have been so impotent in this. UK citizens have been kidnapped at sea by Zio pirates. Not a murmur. Not a murmur from Shabana Mahmood, who used to go to Palestine demos in support of them, but now continues Yvette Cooper's prescription legislation, and in fact is set to introduce more as police get broader powers to restrict repeated protests. Let's see what's happening. This was from earlier today. As if prescribing non-violent direct action groups wasn't bad enough, police forces will be granted powers to put conditions on repeat protests, the government has announced, a day after nearly 500 protesters were arrested. Now, in Mark Rowley's appeal on Friday, he also mentioned the stretching by sheer numbers of the Metropolitan Police Force. But that's on Shabana Mahmood and Yvette Cooper, her predecessor. Yeah, if this has to be policed, then that's going to stretch the force, but it is the prescription itself that is the problem here, not the protests. The police can't turn around and say, for any protest, do you mind? It's just that we really couldn't handle it, you know. Like I said earlier, they were supposed to be, well, they actually are on a high terror alert because of that incident at the synagogue here in Manchester on Thursday. But that's it. More or less has taken place on the first Saturday of every month for the last 3 months. So yeah, the simple remedy: just deprescribe PAL action, and then it'll all stop. But it says here, senior officers will be able to consider the cumulative impact of previous protests, the Home Office said, which would mean they instruct organisers to hold events elsewhere if a site has seen repeated demonstrations. But again, we're free to demonstrate wherever we wish in public. The Home Secretary says it's not a ban on protests, but about restrictions and conditions. No, it is. And look at this. It reads like a lost Dickens novel. Dennis M. Nice point there in the chat. We are ants and the government are sitting there with a magnifying glass while where our right to protest is concerned. They certainly are. They've done the breaking laws, or they want to do the breaking laws in a limited and specific way thing that the Tories did where the European Convention on Human Rights is concerned. So, we'll just, you know, break these little bits of the law. Or they want them to be changed. It's still got to be decided in court. I can see a couple of questions in the chat about the legal appeal. That's still ongoing. It's not been quashed or anything. Kemi Badenoch appears to be in favour. But of course Labour weren't the first to want to tinker with ECHR, although the Tories wanted us to come out completely. The new powers will be brought forward as soon as possible, the Home Office said. Currently, for police to ban a march entirely, there needs to be a risk of serious public disorder. It will be in the video, but it wasn't in that collection of clips that I just showed you there. Do you remember the blind gentleman Mark, who famously was arrested at the 1st, 2nd and again yesterday? Another blind gentleman was also arrested, and someone shared a picture of that they took of. God, it's awful. It's just a joke. The police leading away the blind person's Labrador. Like, seriously. And again, a lot of retirees, elderly people who are no risk of serious public disorder is what I'm getting at. So it's unwarranted just as much as the original prescription was, as far as I'm concerned. This is awful. Instead of doing the right thing, the sensible thing, they're doubling down. We didn't expect Shabana Mahmood to get off to a great start, and unfortunately she's proven us right. Yesterday's arrest has been criticised by human rights group Amnesty International. I did see a couple of people there with Amnesty t-shirts on. And they said arresting people for peacefully sitting down and holding these signs was not a job for the police. Saw another article where the Met said that they were absolutely exhausted. Others, they weren't identified, but they said that again, it was a waste of police time. They were personally ashamed to have had to carry that out. I don't think individually they really get much say in what they do or don't police, but the onus does fall on the Home Secretary. They should, they could refuse en masse. It wouldn't be unprecedented historically for that to happen. To demonstrate how unpoliceable it is. Oh God, I'm not going to read the penny mordaunt quotes. The Home Secretary will write to Chief Constables to encourage, well, she did today, to encourage them to use all their powers to prevent and respond to public disorder, as well as thanking them for their response following Thursday's attack. Let me know what you think about that, people. Another reminder, if you're just arriving, please do vote in the poll. Can Zach Polanski pull the Green Party up to 20% of the vote share in the next general election? Currently on 10%. 85% of you say aye, only 15% think nay at the moment. Also, please make sure you've hit thumbs up on the stream. That does help, gives a boost on the algorithm. If you want to follow us on social media as well, it's at MyLeftRUK, preferably on Blue Sky, but we're also on Twitter and also Mastodon, growing alternative platform as well. Where to next? It's well, a developing story. So, unfortunately, as my initial thoughts were surrounding the synagogue attack, some knuckleheads might have thought that that gives them license to do stupid shit. And then, lo and behold, within days, there's been an arson attack on a mosque. Which, of course, is equally deplorable. I only actually heard about this today. Don't know if you noticed earlier, I had a slightly busy weekend that involved a slight amount of travel and whatnot. But these are the suspects. Not very revealing. The one on the right, particularly blurry at distance, but with distinct red gloves. Two perpetrators, you can see. There's a white logo that says PRE, pre, something. The one on the right. This was in East Sussex. Fire crews were called to the mosque on Phyllis Avenue in Peacehaven just before 10 PM yesterday. No one was injured in the incident. The front entrance of the building and a vehicle parked outside were damaged, according to Sussex police, who were investigating it as a hate crime. Detective Inspector Gavin Patch said this was an appalling and reckless attack, which we know will have left many feeling less safe. The photos show one man wearing a distinctive black jacket with a pre-London logo, it is, on the white chest. The second, bright red gloves, as we said. We're treating this as an arson with intent to endanger life and are continuing to pursue a number of lines of enquiry to identify those responsible. There's been an increased police presence at the scene since the incident, as well as additional patrols taking place at other places of worship across the country to provide reassurance. A volunteer at the mosque, who asked not to be named, said people tried to enter through the front door only to find it locked, and they then poured flammable liquid at the entrance near a car park outside, which was set alight. It could have been murder, the volunteer said, adding that 2 people inside the mosque managed to escape. Urging people to reject division, a spokesperson for the mosque said, "This hateful act does not represent our community. Peacehaven has always been a place of kindness and respect." They also thanked the emergency services for the swift response and all those who had reached out in solidarity, saying, "Your love strengthens us and reminds us that love and understanding will always overcome hate and division. Absolutely. Wow, look at that. Very luckily, nobody got seriously hurt or worse when you see the size of the blaze. Not sure if there's much to go off apart from grainy CCTV footage or whatever. I'll keep you posted. What a pair of dickheads. Good point there though, Flo. You hear the term two-tier justice bandied about a lot on social media with trolls or right-wing accounts, whatever, don't you? Yeah, but it gives good ammo next time you hear about that. Had to respond to one just the other day, actually. They were still trying to do the people on the right have been arrested for holding the Union Jack thing. And that's not that people haven't been arrested whilst holding the Union Jack, but it was probably for something else that they did, which is the reason they were arrested. And it just happens that they were holding one. They would have still been arrested if they were holding the Spanish flag. Okay, I'm just going to try and set up. I didn't queue this into the broadcast software. Well, let's check out some of Zach Polanski's speech from the conference. Let's get on to something a bit more positive. Let's see some positive politics. So I'll get that set up in just a moment, people. Bear with. Did anybody go? Anybody here on the stream? Were you at the conference? No, Katie Marshall, the friendly neighbourhood Marxist of Scotland, was you're planning on going to the one up there, but did anyone see Polanski speaking? How long's this one? Try and get. Yeah, I think that one will do. Quite a selection there. Just get to the bit where he gets on the stage. I think it was Carla Denyer before him. I mean, appearing on the podium, that is, as well. About the passing of the baton. Yeah, it was. I'm just scrolling forward here. That'll do from there, I guess. Just share this on the screen. Hopefully won't be too much lagging. I forgot to thank Herbie Ranger and the Supersonics earlier. Apologies, lads. You've been there playing for some time, keeping us relaxed with the background jazz. Herbie Ranger and the Supersonics, everybody. And I'll just check if I've got to skip through any ads. No, apparently not. So I'll just get this up and resize. Yeah. Just need to add a quick audio output capture. Something doesn't look quite right. There we go. Yeah. That means you'll be able to hear it now, which will be pretty handy. So. I'll just turn some of this crap off and it'll play smoother. One moment.
Thank you. So last week, I was in Leeds filming our party political broadcast. It's very early in the morning. The sun is yet to come up. It's freezing, basically. And we have some very lovely interruptions from people largely going to work. A few times it's a quick chat or a selfie. I very much enjoyed one of my favourite moments. I'm talking to the camera about excess billionaire wealth. And then suddenly a voice pops up from over a fence and he shouts, "You won't find any of that round here, mate." But actually, the very best moment of filming is I'm just about to finish and a young couple come over. And the woman says to me, "Could I ask what you're filming?" And I start to say, "The Green Party political broadcast." She turns to her partner and she goes, "Bloody hell, it's Zach!" And, by the way, we just joined the party last night. Now, I've got to be careful here. I can't personally promise to turn up on the doorstep of every single new member the morning after, but it was a very lovely moment. 30 days ago, you elected me to be the leader of this amazing party. What an immense privilege. And it's been pretty busy. From my very first day, where I went to meet a group of union migrant workers in the NHS, to standing here right now in front of you, the largest membership in Green Party history.
Yeah, they got up to over 80,000 now, haven't they?
I've honestly loved every single day. We said we'd build this movement, and that's exactly what we're all doing. I want to say a special welcome to every single person who has just joined the party in recent months. Over 22,000 of you, welcome! And I want to send a message to those of you who are still deciding, because we have momentum in every single corner of England and Wales. We are mounting our most ambitious, our most exciting campaign ever. This is the Green Party's moment. And if ever there was a time to join us, that time is now. On the day I became leader, a journalist asked me a surprising question. They said, "Why did I look so sick as the results were announced?" Now, for a second, I thought I could pretend that's not really how I felt, or I could do that unique thing that the Green Party does, tell the truth. So I admitted, yes, I felt pretty sick. And then he said, why? And the answer is obvious. It's the enormity of the task ahead. A failing government, a country where millions and millions of people are struggling to afford the basics. The far right, they're on the march. Now, you will be pleased to know that the sickness quickly passed. But the moment we're in has only got more serious, more urgent, more consequential. This is a country that has so much going for it, but we have been time and time again failed by a political class poisoned by extreme wealth. And you can see that poison every single day. Rough sleeping, it is up 164% since 2010. Half of renters are just one paycheck away from losing their home. Water companies.
And yeah, he's countering that with a massive bulk of socialist policies. I'm not sure what you've heard. I won't play his full speech, but for example, he said that he's going to decriminalise all drugs, including Class A's. As far as the prescription of Palaction is concerned, he would immediately revoke that. Social housing programmes, obviously an emphasis, strong emphasis on NHS ownership and a lot more as well. And really refreshing, and he really has laid down a marker. He's set himself as the socialist candidate now. As fond as you may be of Jeremy Corbyn or Zara Sultana, just in terms of party organisation, the Greens have got themselves some way ahead now. But that's not to say that your party won't be able to potentially catch up or whatever. I do still think that they've got to work in solidarity. I have to re-emphasise that as well, in a way that doesn't split the vote on the left. How you do that is a totally different conversation. So he's out there now. He's picking up memberships. He's certainly attracting a lot of media attention, as you will when you announce socialist policies. There will, of course, always be a pushback. And Polanski can hold his own on the mainstream media rounds and in live interviews. And I've seen some really good examples recently where he humiliates other people on the panel or the host with, you know, the usual Tory talking points. He's doing a really good job at it. So there's no wonder that the membership's gone up. Katie pointed out the actual number is over 84,000 now. So what's been your particular favourite policy that you've heard Zach Polanski speaking about? Let me know in the chat. The poll today is still heavily weighted in favour of Polanski getting people, getting 20%, I should say, of the vote share in the next general election. 78 to 22 it is at the moment. Make sure that you vote in the poll, please, if you just joined us, and make sure that you hit thumbs up on the stream as well. Just wanted to play the quick intro there, but it was immediately positive and remained throughout. It went on for about 40 minutes, so fortunately don't have time to get into that. I'm sure a lot of you might have seen the full thing anyway already. And in particular, he's just completely ruling out any sort of negative, xenophobic, anti-immigration rhetoric that's driving all the other mainstream parties at the moment. You know, they're fighting over the wrong issues, and he correctly identifies that the true enemy comes by private jet and not small boat, because he's certainly not been quiet about taxation on the wealthiest in society either. I hold no illusions that he could potentially win the next general election, that the Greens could do that, but certainly a significant portion of the vote, I think, is forthcoming, if current trends are to be considered. Just bring back Herbie and the boys. Just having a quick look through the chat. You don't, no, Phil, go and see to that immediately. That's not happening. Right, where was I? We'll just quickly get on to, I mean, it's a massive question mark. Well, I say so, but just where any peace deal in Gaza is concerned, and the apparent return of the hostages, which is supposedly in progress, where all that's concerned. Let's have a quick look here. Now, this is Donald Trump who's saying this, and it's like when he says, oh yeah, there's going to be peace in Ukraine and between Ukraine and Russia soon, and we've been here before with Gaza and ceasefires. But he says the hostages will be freed very soon. Apparently Hamas have agreed to some parts of a 20-point peace plan, including releasing the hostages and handing over governance to Palestinian technocrats, but they're seeking negotiations on other issues. For example, they didn't mention disarmament or a future role in the governance. So it's not a done deal. But Trump says negotiations are going very well. Like I said, this would be for all of the remaining hostages. Apparently they've been given, that is Hamas have been given 24 hours to decide. And this sounds really strange, coming from Marco Rubio, in a rare example of talking sense. And this is, it's like, hang on, what's going on here? This is highly suspicious. But he says that Israel needs to stop bombing to facilitate a hostage release. The quote is, you can't release hostages while there are still bombardments going on. That has to stop, but you also have to work through the other logistics. We want to get the hostages out as soon as possible. Because that's been what's happened every single time there's been negotiations, hasn't it? Israel publicly say, oh, we want peace, you know, we're the peaceful ones. Literally, as bombs are hitting the ground, as they're hitting refugee camps, residential areas, hospitals, schools, you name it. Oh yeah, we want peace. But, you know, explosion noises in the background. But unfortunately, generally, if Trump's optimistic, that should lead you to be particularly pessimistic yourself. I won't read the full 20-point plan. We all know that there's real pressure domestically on Netanyahu to get the hostages back. As soon as this is over, of course, he's facing domestic corruption charges. Well. Those two sentences. Very soon, whatever that means. I wouldn't hold my breath if I was you people. We know what Trump's like, we know what Netanyahu's like. Because just a short while ago, it was just real gangster shit, wasn't it? It was just, you'll release all the hostages now, otherwise Israel will finish the job. And Trump was saying he would back them in, and that is the quote, finish the job. And you can only assume the job being the genocide, because that's Israel's remit, that's their ambition. Finish the job. And now it's, oh, peace, very soon. Return of hostages. Very hopeful. Within, what, 72 hours? Walking hypocrisy. No wonder a few people now have said that the 25th Amendment should be invoked, shouldn't they? And other people like, no, this isn't parody, we're not joking here, this is us literally saying that the President of the United States is clinically, medically insane and should be removed. That is what is starting to happen. He's never been good at calling things like that, has he? Sneaky fish, yeah, he's diagnosable in any number of ways. But you make a good point there as well, Rachel. That should have been invoked ages ago, the 25th Amendment. Also, the First Amendment, of course, with this imaginary banning of an organisation that doesn't exist, but just hypothetically where it's concerned. That contradicting declaration rights on public assembly and free speech. Antifa, I'm referring to, of course, who don't exist as a single organisation, despite what Trump thinks, but there you go. Don't let this stop you talking about the Epstein files, by the way. Just your regular reminder.
You dirty fecker.
Whatever he gets up to. Yeah, speaking of which, I wouldn't be surprised if Peter Mann does get back in the news next week for something or other. More about Prince Andrew to come, so we're led to believe also. Sarah Ferguson, of course, being brought into this now as well and being rejected by various charities. It's running through the royal family like wildfire. Get the popcorn. Well, get them in court as well. Another shout out to all the members on the channel. Yeah, we had lots of gifted memberships tonight. That's been awesome. Thanks so much once again for that. If you're watching back later on, please consider using super thanks to show your appreciation, or there's a buy me a coffee page as well. Check out the link for that in the description of the stream, or any other content. And please do check out some of our previous uploads. We do videos as well as live streams, by the way, for anybody who didn't know. And it will be my pleasure to add tonight's new members to this list of awesome people. It's just 99p. If you want to consider joining yourself, please check out the perks. Thanks again, everybody. It's time for round 2 of Keith's Fondue. Yes, Rory, it is good to see the royal family being so rattled. Alright, we're getting towards the end of the stream, people, but stick around. We're going to be raiding into another channel. I'm just going to take a quick look now, in fact, whilst I also kindly remind you, make sure that you've hit thumbs up on the stream before we round off things here. I'll be back with the brews at 10 throughout the week, of course. And they go back for PMQs this week, I think, don't they? No, next week. Big Madge. Big Madge is live. Yes, we'll head over there. Just surprised Kev or Helena weren't on. Yeah, has it been 3 or 4 weeks since it was PMQs? Whatever, but I might still be doing a stream on Wednesday anyway. So, okay everybody. That'll be it from me. Do join us on the raid, like I said. Give us a thumbs up and a shout out when we get there. But if not, if you're watching back later or whatever, take care. My Lefty, I'll be seeing you soon. Power to the people and free Palestine.